staff of the 9th Congressional District, who worked over the last 24 hours to reach out as far and wide as we could to invite as many people of goodwill to stand with us this evening. Let me thank our experts who are here, seated at the table, who will share very important information for our community in terms of what is transpiring and understanding what we will do in response. Let me thank all of you who have taken the time from your busy schedules on a Sunday evening to come together in conference as we rise up in resistance to this fascist presidential regime. And I'm using that term, and I don't use it lightly. I say that because somewhere along the line, our humanity was denied us. Somewhere along the line, the understanding that we are one nation under God was lost. Somewhere along the line, someone got amnesia about how this nation was created by immigrants for immigrants. But we are here today to say that we haven't forgotten, that we are very conscious and we are very cognizant of our role in history. And our role will be that we stood up when we saw tyranny coming from the very White House of the United States of America. I am outraged by Donald Trump's decision to prevent citizens from several Muslim countries from entering the United States of America. This is contrary to every value that we hold dear, and an attack on decency itself. We are much better than this. But Donald Trump's recent actions are not only contrary to our values, they are also contrary to our interests. This order will help those who wish us harm to recruit supporters, make it harder for law enforcement officials to build trust with our communities here at home, and prevent us from attracting the world's best and brightest, most hardworking, most industrious to our shores. Most importantly, these actions will tear families apart who have played by the rules and have done nothing wrong. In fact, this is already happening. Many of you may have heard that I went to John F. Kennedy Airport last evening. I was there with Congressmen from Queens, New York, and Congressman Adriano Espaillat from Manhattan. The three of us stood shoulder to shoulder as families were crying out because they didn't know what would be with regards to their family members. One of the gentlemen we were assisting was a recent veteran, an Iraqi, whose mother went through all of the due diligence, the many years of vetting that it takes to come to the United States. And when her plane left Iraq, there was no ban in place. But when she landed in the United States of America, she was detained for hours and threatened with deportation. We had to gather quickly to move to implore the Customs and Border Protection agents not to deport this woman, not to deport several others who were being detained as we were standing there. And you could see in the eyes of these employees that their hearts wanted a different result. But they were given orders straight from Washington, D.C. to do what they had to do as part of their job. We should not be putting Americans in the position of having to enforce an unconstitutional Muslim ban, which is what it is, and follow the instructions that have been put in place all these many years to make sure that loved ones could be reunited on our shores. And that's what we face at this time. I know that it's been hard to keep track of everything that is going on, but broad policies are as follows. I'm going to tell you a bit more about the executive order. This is about educating the community. This executive order will bar Syrian refugees from entering the United States indefinitely. As far as if that were not enough, it will also reduce the number of total refugees admitted to the United States by more than half. This order also prevents citizens from Iraq, Syria, Sudan, Libya, Iran, Somalia, and Yemen from entering the United States for 90 days, although it is possible that it could be extended even longer. And who knows, will the list of nations be expanded upon? Well, this is all done in the name of national security. We all know that these countries were chosen because Donald Trump's Islamophobic bigotry is what is at work. In fact, when we look at it, the 9/11 hijackers were from Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Egypt, and Lebanon. Yet, none of these nations are on the list. I suppose it's only coincidence that Donald Trump has business interests in these countries. Perhaps if he had a hotel in Yemen, they would not be on the list. I didn't think it was possible, but Donald Trump has sunk to a low, an all-time low. These actions are truly deplorable and contrary to who we are as a nation. These actions are so contrary to our values that I am confident that his choice of countries violates our anti-discrimination laws and the Constitution itself. I'm also hearing from many attorneys that it is in violation of our immigration laws. Indeed, just yesterday, a federal judge here in New York, in Brooklyn, blocked part of Donald Trump's unconscionable executive order. While this is welcome news on an otherwise very troubling day and in troubling times, Judge Donnelly's order is only temporary and does not restore freedom to the people of all faiths. And so we can't stop gathering. We can't stop meeting. We can't stop marching until this ban is lifted. I ask to speak with you today to hear your concerns and to let you know that I share in your outrage. Imam, I ask that you pray for me. All leaders of faith in the room, I ask that you pray for me, because I'm going back to Washington tomorrow and I'm going to act up. For those of you who don't know me, or don't know me very well, my parents are immigrants to the United States of America. My mother came from Jamaica, West Indies. And so the terminology you just heard, that was Jamaican. We act up when we don't like what's going on. And so I will fight in Washington to push back these terrible anti-Muslim orders through legislation, speeches, letters, marches, whatever I have to do. This is a priority for us as a people, as a nation. If we allow this to remain, we will be in a worse position tomorrow than we are today, because it will not end here. It will continue on. And many other families will be affected. We have to stop this now. People of goodwill, of all political persuasion, outraged. You can look in this room. This room, out on the streets, is a reflection of who we are as a people. Different faiths, different ethnicity, different races. But we all stand together, understanding that our unity in this moment of crisis is what is required. Our children cannot inherit from us this type of nation. We must use this time to set a new moral code for how we conduct ourselves as Americans, so that each young person coming up in this nation recognizes that we were willing to sacrifice for them, and that this nation will live up to its greatest potential because we stood together this evening. Important that we are clear about what is in this order. We have to prevent misunderstandings and false information from causing harm to people's lives. I want to educate people here today so that you can share what you have learned with others in the community who may be fearful right now, who maybe couldn't make it to this meeting this evening, didn't hear about it. We have to share the word. And so I have brought experts to speak with you this evening. And I'm going to ask that they make their presentations so that you can hear directly how this is impacting our communities, what we must do to protect ourselves and our families, and then we will talk about next steps and action. I want to make sure that people of the 9th Congressional District and beyond are prepared to stand up, to stand out, to fight back against this tyranny. It cannot stand, and we will not stand for it. And now, to speak to you about her personal efforts to assist families affected by these executive orders, I am pleased to introduce Tadhani.
She's not here.
Okay, she's not here yet. All right, I'm going to turn it back over to the Master of Ceremonies, Mo Razvi, everyone.
Sorry about that. It's on my part. So I'm going to request very slowly. See, many of the people that are here are from within the neighborhood, from the Muslim community, and the mosque that's next to us, 1, 2, it has over 5,000 congregants coming here every week. And I'm going to request Kazmi Mushtaq Ahmed, who is the General Secretary, and please to say just a few words so we can move forward, how it's affecting.